First of all, let me, I feel so, I'm very grateful and privileged to be here with this panel. And thank you all for coming here tonight. I was asked to talk about Hollywood and terror, the war on terror. It's like a physics student being told by his professor, I want you to give me 12 pages on zero. Just write about zero, because Hollywood is too fearful and too enmeshed in its own ideology to take this on. I found this quote from the late Jack Valenti, and it sort of hides and says it all. Why would you have, who would you have as an enemy if you made a picture about terrorism? You'd probably have Muslims, would you not? If you did, I think there'd be a backlash from the decent, hardworking, law-abiding Muslim community in this country. That's a danger. So we're not going to do anything. We're not going to do something that might in some way endanger us. Now in Great Britain, in the entertainment business, they're far more explicit. I don't want to die. Right now, I'm not going to say anything about Islam. I can talk about Christianity. I don't know what's going to happen to me if I say something about a Christian, but I want my neck intact. They're very honest about it. And that fear, and the two different ways that the fear is expressed, and it's expressed in many other ways, and that's what I want to get into. Fear is at the bottom of everything that we're going through right now. And then along with that, there is manipulation. Manipulation and propaganda for, sometimes I just don't quite know. Bosch and I were talking about this earlier. You have a president of the United States, this is an example, who said, the United States is one of the largest Muslim nations in the world. Have you heard that? Have you all heard that? Has anybody heard a single quote-unquote journalist ask the President of the United States, excuse me, Mr. President, did you say that, first of all? Did you believe that to be true? If you do, and if he were to say, yes, I do believe that to be true, well then that would really explain a great deal right now. That would explain why the Muslim Brotherhood was in the White House. It would explain a great deal that's going on. But no one is going to ask him that question. No one in the media. Because they're all of the same ideology, and they're all afraid. Everyone in the media is afraid to ask the President of the United States, he didn't really say that, I'm not going to ask him if he really meant that, or who he got that from. Who is the media today? Right after 9/11, you remember David Weston? He was asked if targeting the Pentagon was proper. And he was in Columbia University. He was the president of ABC at the time, owned by Disney, owned by a Hollywood company. And he said, the Pentagon is a legitimate target? You know, I actually don't have an opinion on that. He said, our job is to determine what is, not what ought to be. I can say that the Pentagon got hit. I can say that it's their position. That's what the position is, but I can't take a position on that. Yes, ABC is owned by Disney. Now, 2 days later, he apologized. Oh, right and wrong. I forgot about that. Because Disney, you see, is an international conglomerate. They no longer, you used to be their target. You no longer are. It's over there because they provide more money than you do. So Disney owns ABC. Fox owns Fox, another entertainment conglomerate. CBS is owned by Paramount, Warner Brothers, and NBC by Universal. There is no more Hollywood. That's the thrust. There is none. If there is any Hollywood, it's in your living room, because all of the people who read the news, they used to look like reporters back in the 50s, if you remember. They used to look like reporters when you could smoke a cigarette. Now they're all beautiful entertainers. They're gorgeous. The guys are gorgeous, the females are gorgeous, they're all gorgeous, and they are feeding you propaganda left and right, and in between the propaganda, there is commercial propaganda. That's why everything is green. Green, it's green, it's green, it's green. It's global warming, it's your choice. But David Weston, movies, motion pictures, entertainment. How do you get an idea across? Right after 9/11, there was this huge bureaucracy to protect us. It was called the Department of Homeland Security. You all remember that, right? Just here in February, what do you think their new program is? Environmental Justice Strategy. Just a few short years. A few short years. They're slipping this in, and where are we? We're all asleep. Because you have somebody up at the helm who said this is one of the largest Muslim nations in the world, and then to enforce his ideas, he appointed someone by the name of John Holdren, who said openly that the United States must lower its standard of living so that the rest of the world may raise its standard of living. That's what he said. This is the chief architect of the president's policies in environment, in space. John Holdren wanted to get rid of the rockets. We don't have a space program anymore. Oh, like that. He has another policy. It's called de-developing the United States of America. Has anyone seen this man on ABC, NBC, CBS, the entertainment networks that provide the news? Has anybody seen this guy? No. This is the danger. And the fear that surrounds everyone. No one has the courage to ask the bloody question, what are you doing? And we are, right now, all victims or beneficiaries of a very nimble and dangerous policy. And the Muslim Brotherhood and what's going on in Europe and in the Middle East right now is the next wave. It's being done under our noses, and we unfortunately don't seem to have the answer. We don't seem to have the answer, but it's as Mark said, you have to, it's going to have to be each and every one of you asking the questions. Calling up your congressman and saying, I want this question asked. I want to know why the president said this. I want an answer to it, Mr. Congressman. I want you to ask the president and tell me if he really believes that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much for our panel.